Councilmember Wamsley.
Thank you, President Payne. I think it's important to name, at least for me and for the public record, because this is actually, I would say it's a historic vote that we're taking, and why I'm taking it. Because it's actually gotten quite lost in the conversations about buses and pedestrian malls and flexible concepts. I cannot understand how in 2025, as we're approaching a 5-year anniversary, that anyone could think the best way to honor the fact that the city of Minneapolis allowed Officer Derek Chauvin and many others to not only brutalize George Floyd, but ultimately kill him in front of the world. And the place in which community has gathered for the past 5 years, gathered around and has protected the sacred ground to serve as a reminder for us of what we did and to not do it again. The way in which the city is approaching that is saying, essentially, let's run buses up and down that same street. Let's run buses and cars across the very place where George Floyd was killed. And that, for me, is a signal of erasure. And that is essentially what the city of Minneapolis, and particularly under this mayoral administration that we keep running into, we have the same dynamic even with the 3rd precinct discussion, where let's just put a democracy center there. Let's not acknowledge the harms that took place there that was also very much connected to how we got to George Floyd, the place that harbored some of the most brutal officers in this city, and it was known and it's been documented. And yet, let's do a democracy. Let's not acknowledge that history. And next, okay, let's move to the core epicenter of where things popped off and this killing, this murder happened, and let's throw a bus on there. And then dangle nice things, street infrastructure, buses, to the community as if they couldn't have that beforehand. You still can have that. You still deserve that, and that should not be contingent upon your ability to concede to the fact that the city of Minneapolis and its white supremacist dynamics wants to erase the history of what happened, because we have a problem with holding ourselves accountable when we constantly enact harm on Black people in the city, and it's still happening. Davis Matori was back in December, and he stayed right around the corner from where George Floyd was murdered. And even then, our police failed that Black man. So these realities are still happening. And to me, that is what's grounding my decision. It's not about street infrastructures. Those investments can still happen. And city staff telling you